Good morning, St. Louis. We are joining you live here on all of our streaming devices this morning to give you a quick update on the weather for the day ahead. Now, we've already had a burst of snow come through this morning, and that has put down a coating to less than an inch of snowfall on the ground down below. Here's a live look at the Poplar Street Bridge. In fact, Monica's on standby to give you an update on those roads here in just a little bit. But first, we want to start you off with a look around town to see some of the pavement that we've been trying to find here this morning. And it seems as though now that the snow has wrapped up across the region, that we are able to catch a little bit of a break. The plows are out and the crews, well, with more traction on the roadways, that's really helping to improve those conditions. So you're getting a couple lanes here. There's your live look in O'Fallon, Illinois on 64. And it looks like even 3 lanes in some spots, but you're still down a lane, it looks like, on the eastbound side. And then you get away from the interstates, you're just dealing with partially to all covered roads across the rest of the region. The numbers are so cold this morning. Not a day where you want to have a breakdown. So make sure you've got necessary items in your car for the day ahead. We're talking an extra blanket, perhaps some snacks, and even just some extra gloves and perhaps an extra pair of clothes, depending on the circumstances that may evolve. Of course, we've had some situations in the last couple of years where whole interstates had to be shut down because of several accidents. So we've been doing okay this morning when it comes to those crashes, but with numbers, again, this cold, you don't want to take those chances being stranded. We're at 0. That's the number this morning in Chesterfield. 1 for you in Alton. This is how we're starting our day. And wind chills, I mean, you can pick out your city, and wherever you are this morning, those wind chills are well below 0. We're talking somewhere between 15 and 25 degrees below 0. So if you are venturing out this morning, again, make sure you're covered up, make sure you're prepared for the day ahead, and of course, as I mentioned, make sure your car is winterized. So here's a look at the radar this morning. You'll notice we're catching that break here in St. Louis, but you head down towards Rolla, Lebanon, Lake of the Ozarks, down towards southern portions of Missouri. This next round of snow is building on in, and this is the snow that'll be with us into the afternoon and evening hours, and this is when travel is going to be the worst this afternoon in St. Louis. But places like Rolla, down towards Salem, Missouri, you're getting that first little piece of energy that's moving up now. So snow showers are starting to build back in, but I'd say about lunchtime here in St. Louis is when we're expecting that next batch. Here's our future cast. We show you this every day, and this gives you an idea of what to expect. Notice the lighter blue here in St. Louis. That's about 11 o'clock. That's when that next snow will start to move on in. The heaviest snow, though, by this time will be down in Farmington, Perryville, Sparta, stretching up onto the Illinois side. So Salem, Illinois, Mount Vernon, and DuQuoin, that's when you're really going to see things pick up this afternoon and evening, and that's when travel will be the worst. Once we get into the evening hours, we're talking 4, 5, 6 o'clock this evening, the heaviest snow will be from St. Louis to the Illinois side of the river, and that's when accumulation will really pick up. We're talking this afternoon alone, perhaps up to 3 inches just in the afternoon hours. So here is the amounts that we're expecting for the whole duration of this event, with snow wrapping up by tonight. 6 to 8 inches of snowfall expected here in St. Louis. That also includes St. Charles County, Franklin, Jefferson County, and also the Metro East. Now, the farther east you go on this map, the higher those totals will go. So places like Belleville, you'll probably get somewhere between 7 and 9 inches, but out towards Mount Vernon, Carbondale, those locations will most likely see upwards of 10, even 12 inches of snowfall. And that also includes you down in Farmington and Perryville, against southern portions of our viewing area. Now, the farther north and west you go, that's where you'll have lighter amounts, but still, we're talking 4 to 6 inches of snow for places like Bowling Green, Carrollton, Litchfield, and over towards Herman and Montgomery City. So in St. Louis, by the time we wake up tomorrow morning, we'll have about 6, maybe 7 inches of snowfall on the ground, and higher amounts upwards of 8 in some spots. So that's for the metro area alone. Tomorrow, we will catch a little bit of a break as we get into Fat Tuesday. Temperatures will be very cold. We're talking starting off near 0 for your morning temperature tomorrow, and that wind chill advisory that we've got in place this morning will be in place through the day tomorrow, even with highs near 15. We do have another round of snow headed our way for Wednesday and Thursday, so watch out for that. Right now, indications are we will have a couple more inches. So say we get 6 today, and then we add a couple more to that by the middle part of the week, we could have almost 10 inches of snowfall on the ground by the end of the week. So yeah, all you big snow lovers, you've been waiting your turn to get some of this good snow, and it looks like by the middle of the week we will be adding to our totals. The weekend does look a little better when it comes to those temperatures. We'll actually start to see things thaw out by Saturday, perhaps back into the mid 30s for high temperatures then, and by Sunday, a chance of rain as temperatures climb up to near 40 degrees. So before we send things over to Monica real quick, just want to check the radar once again if you are just joining us here on all of our social platforms live this morning with your weather update. We are in storm alert through the day, catching a break here in St. Louis from the snow, but here's that next round about to pull into the metro area. Still a ways away, but down towards Rolla and Salem, Missouri, starting to see that push into the metro area. Once we get towards lunchtime, this radar will fill in, and that's when we will start to see the heavy snow return with the potential of several inches per hour in St. Louis once we get into the afternoon and evening hours. So if you can stay off the roads today, probably a good idea, but if you do have to venture out this morning, you're getting a little bit of a break in some of that action. So with that being said, let's switch gears and toss things over to Monica Adams, who's been busy last week with all the snow, and hopefully this week is not a sign of things to come. But what's going on right now is we're in the 7 o'clock hour.
I know, we were so hoping for a mild winter, and that is not happening this week at all. You know, we're counting down the days until March 20th, the official kickoff to spring. Can't come here soon enough. We've been talking about crashes now. I saw about 10 of them when I first came in this morning at 3 a.m. We had a lot right before 4 a.m. Now keep in mind though, that snow was coming and then the wind was drifting, getting that snow onto the pavement, on the side roads and on the highways. That was causing that early morning problem, and there weren't a lot of vehicles on the roadways. You hear both MoDOT and IDOT talking about how they actually get a little help when there is more volume on the road. You're seeing some pavement now, much more than what we had earlier. We've had a handful of issues right now. Remember the Stan Musial Veterans Memorial Bridge eastbound lanes. They closed yesterday and they remain closed until the 28th. They're doing maintenance there. 55 drivers, keep in mind Loughborough, that exit has been closed. Last week we mentioned that. It remains closed as well. We do have some spin outs, some stalls happening. 170, we had an issue northbound around Forest Park Parkway. That was a vehicle that spun out and went off the roadway. They did just clear that one. So I brought up some other cameras so you can see more pavement downtown, and we were seeing that spin out that was in the left lane. They finally got that out of the way for drivers traveling 44 eastbound near Washington. Checking in that Fenton area, 141 at Gravois. Actually doesn't look too bad. Just remember, we're talking about 1 degree. So even though you do have pavement, if you hit right in here, you would slide off, and that's what's causing some of those crashes this morning. Taking a look at 170 Galleria Parkway. So one of the things we've been mentioning you want to watch is when you hit the ramps, the elevated surfaces. So don't be overconfident with how cold the temperatures are, and with the early morning snow that we had, with some of that drifting onto the pavement, that could cause problems as you get up onto those bridges, the ramps, those overpasses. Now here, this looks a lot worse, right? 270, this is east and westbound at McDonald Boulevard, eastbound here on the right-hand side. Westbound traffic, you only have maybe 1 or 2 tire tracks, so not as good in that North County region. Taking a look up in North County coming from Illinois, you can see it slows down more so as you get past Lindbergh going in towards that 370 area. Yellow and red on the map actually looking good. We had a lot of red earlier in Wentzville. That's where that heavy snow was falling. Looking better as you move into Lake St. Louis and O'Fallon, Weldon Spring, into that Chesterfield Valley. We did have some problems around Maryville Center. Watch as you come up into that elevated area, Timberlake Manor, 141. This is that 364 area. 94 was a little slick this morning around 5th Street as well. 370 going into that North County region. Now, 44 and 55 have been fantastic. Look at St. Clair moving into Union, Washington Pacific moving in towards Valley Park and Fenton. But again, because of the changing conditions, you still have to watch it. I would try to give yourself an extra maybe 15 to 30 minutes just to be on the safe side. Don't want to be rushing out the door and then all of a sudden coming up to an area where the conditions do change, like we just saw in North County. But here's Peevely, Imperial, Arnold. Earlier there was a water main break for drivers around Lee May Ferry and Allegheny. Here's 141 in Gravois and around Tesson Ferry. Lindbergh, South and North County. Again, some of those side roads could be a little bit worse than the highways, so just keep that in mind. Now for Illinois drivers, that jam you're seeing here as you go into downtown is from that earlier 44 in Washington issue. That is out of the way. That purple line you're seeing is the eastbound lanes of the Stan Musial Veterans Memorial that I mentioned was closed. 55, 70, and 64, East St. Louis looking all right. Route 3 as well. And then let's wrap things up here on the Poplar Street Bridge. Still looking fine. We've talked to IDOT and MoDOT today, trying to get ahead of this for you. We talked to MoDOT. They have 200 trucks out there. IDOT with about 160. With the shift change, it just happened about 40 minutes ago. They may even have a little bit more than that. So they're putting the mixture down, trying to get ahead of it. But you have to do your thing as well, and that is slow your speed and leave early. We'll, of course, keep you up to date on TV with everything that happens with the crashes and with that snowfall that continues to move in. And what we can ask for you to do is be safe.